As you can see, fifth gear brainstorming sessions are intense, serious affairs. At our most recent meeting, Tiff unveiled a car building challenge that's going to keep the fifth gear gang occupied for months.
We want to make a car capable of the magic figure, 200 miles an hour. But buying a supercar would be too easy and too expensive. We wanted a long-term project we could get our teeth into. Eventually we thought of Lotus.
Loads of trouble, usually serious.
Now, I know, there can be a bit of a problem, but about 7 years ago there was the BPR GT racing series before supercars were specially made for it.
Oh, the V8 car.
The V8 car, and it raced head-to-head with McLaren F1s, Ferrari F40s, my little Lister Storm I was in, and it was on a par.
Yeah, but it's all a bit fragile. The gearbox will break and blah, blah, blah.
No, we can buy one. Apparently you can get one for about 20 grand. Right, but then we can rebuild a gearbox.
Yeah, you could put a trick gearbox on, couldn't you?
The engine is quite a sturdy one, and it's not heavily tuned, so that's got the potential to be tuned.
It's a turbo car, that, isn't it?
Twin turbo, V8, 3.5 litre. Tweak it up, get the engine tweaked.
What about aerodynamics?
I would have thought it's fairly good.
It's got quite a narrow front, hasn't it? So it will sort of punch through the air quite well.
Take the standard wing off the back and put something a bit more racy, a bit more efficient, you know, less drag and a bit more downforce probably.
Well, I'm sure between us all we can pull in a few favours, get some tricky bits.
Yeah.
You can get some stickers.
I could get some stickers, yeah.
All right then, Lotus V8.
All right.
Cheap as we can.
Yeah.
Supercar that will do 200 miles an hour.
Excellent.
Finding a decent V8 Esprit wasn't going to be easy, but eventually we came across this 99 V8 GT, owned by a doctor in Surrey. Very agreeable. It has a full service history and receipts for a recent £6,000 overhaul. But seeing as our intention is to make it do 200 miles an hour, we thought it best to get a local dealer to check it out as well. They declared a clean bill of health. We chipped £700 off the asking price and handed over £23,300. It was a bit more than we wanted to pay, but at least we were going to get a well-looked-after, reliable car. Or so we thought. After about 50 miles, the gearbox went bang. This was not a good start. All 5 cogs had completely disintegrated. We knew they were a weak spot, but it would have been nice to have at least made it home under our own steam. With a current top speed of 0, our 200 mile an hour challenge has just got a whole lot harder. At least the only way is up. We'll keep you posted throughout the series on how the Esprit takes shape.
Undeterred, we headed for the workshops at Thames Valley Racing, where our modifications could begin. We'd obviously need more power, and the easiest thing to do is fit bigger turbos. But a new pair would cost £3 grand, so ours were refettled for half that price. Turbos act like bellows, forcing more air into the engine to make a bigger bang. But increasing the pressure raises the air temperature, so we had to fit charge coolers to stop the engine melting. Bill so far, £3,200. Of course, my safety is also a concern, so we fitted racing seats and a roll cage, but we won't count them towards our go faster costings. We didn't want to risk a high-speed blowout either, so the old tyres were swapped for fresh rubber, and we also took the liberty of uprating the brakes. We'd heard about a car club that was going to hold a top-speed event on a runway, and I couldn't wait to join them. With the gearbox rebuilt, my first task was to gently drive the car to a rolling road to see if our modifications worked. Hold on a minute. Let's just do that again. Now that is what you call a wastegate wasting. It seems to be running quite smoothly, but one other small concern at the moment is the gearbox, freshly rebuilt. Either it's stiff or our gear linkage hasn't been realigned quite right. Because sometimes when I slow right down, I can't get either first or second. And the next time I try, it's freed up. But as I guess I won't be using first or second gear too much, that's not a problem. Almost all modern cars have a brain, a microchip like this that tells it how much fuel and air to burn at various revs. With a new chip installed, it was then a question of fine-tuning to get the maximum performance possible. A 2-day tune-up added another grand to our costs, raising the running total for our supercar project to £26,200. And the results were promising. Our car was now pushing out 426 horsepower, an increase of 76 bhp over standard. But would it be enough? There was only one way to find out. This is VMAX, the fastest car club in the world. There's over £2.5 million worth of high-performance metal here, including Aston Martins, Lamborghinis, a dozen Ferraris and about 20 Porsches. The aim of the day is simple. Clear a 2-mile stretch of runway and see who can go fastest. The perfect place to find out how fast our modifications have made the Lotus. Except it isn't here. My worries about the gearbox had come true. It had broken again. But at least VMAX would give me the chance to see how others try and crack 200 miles an hour. You know, I've never really been a very good spectator. I've got to have a go in something. Two months later, after parting with another grand, we were ready to go again. 8 months after we hatched the original plan, it was time to see if, despite the setbacks, our Esprit could do 200. Well, I'm just doing the Datron test run to calibrate the speed checking instrumentation. And at 55 miles an hour, it feels solid as a rock. And what I plan to do, because this gearbox has all been rebuilt, is just to build up slowly, do a sort of run at 100 miles an hour, 120, not giving it full power, letting that gearbox settle itself in, but feel that acceleration in any gear is amazing. We're doing 140 and I've not even thought about accelerating too fast. How the brakes, that's the next question. If I brake hard, it dives around a bit. Brakes feel good. Well, I tell you what, this could be a shock result though. I'm not expecting this car to do 200 miles an hour, I have to confess. I know, having raced at Le Mans, how when you get 190, it's just there's so much wind resistance and it's hard to accelerate any more than that. But this really does feel like it's got some power. And the time's come to give it a go. Let's use all my runway to build up, get it straight and fire it. This thing's a rocket ship. 115 in third, 151 in fourth. I'm now full throttle in fifth, we're about halfway up the runway. I've got 162, 165, but 174. But just as I reached 175 miles an hour, there were nasty noises behind me, and I bore more than a passing resemblance to the red arrows. I could see whole loads of smoke. And now we have cooked the engine. It wasn't the gearbox this time. The engine hadn't been running perfectly, with surges of high boost only at the top end. We obviously hadn't quite got the fuel mix right yet, and the engine had cried enough, demonstrating its displeasure by spewing its oil all over the engine bay and the back of the car.